Welcome to Speak for Yourself.
Hey, you're not slick, Sel.
You already know I'm fresh today.
America,
Killing them, Joy Taylor. Killing them, Colin Coward.
Wiley is in stature, but is a child with his watches. However, today I see you got a new watch, and he not slick. He tucked in his
undershirt. That thing came out.
To make sure y'all can see it.
Looking out. Looking out. Thank you for highlighting that. It's out like Gabe's chain is right now. We're going to hip y'all to that. I'm officially looking official. That's Emmanuel Ocho over there.
Don't be a good show.
My insurance is paid, so please leave me alone. Let's get it started in Philly, where the Eagles have dropped 5 out of 6 games after Sunday's loss. And on Monday, they made some changes to their roster. Joe Flacco was traded to the Jets. Wow. Which puts Gardner Minshew and the Mania in the backup quarterback role. Jalen Hurts has averaged under 200 passing yards the last 3 games, but head coach Nick Sirianni still gave him a vote of confidence, saying, quote, I have a ton of faith in Jalen. He will be our starting quarterback. So, Acho, should the Eagles consider benching Jalen Hurts?
The Eagles should consider it for this reason. I refuse to let this season be a waste for the Philadelphia Eagles in its entirety. I don't always subscribe to this, but for my Philadelphia Eagles, I will. I don't take losses, I take lessons.
Okay.
Now, Eagles fans, we have to concede to the fact that we're going to take a bunch of losses this year. But let's at least learn a lot of lessons in this year. So, if I want to learn a lesson this year as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, the primary lesson I need to learn is, can Nick Sirianni coach? I told y'all I'm out.
You out?
I told y'all I'm out.
Done.
However, we have to be just in the process of figuring out if he can coach.
Thank you.
But the only way we can figure out if Nick Sirianni can coach is if we separate him from Jalen Hurts. That is why I think the Eagles should consider benching Jalen Hurts. Sal, I thought about this morning. You can't arbitrate if you don't separate.
Some baseball players just was like, no, you can. Yes, you can.
I thought about that real talk.
What?
Like, wait a second.
It rhymed. What?
No,
Let me say.
You can't arbitrate if you don't separate, meaning if I don't separate Jalen Hurts from Nick Sirianni, then I cannot properly judge who's at fault for the Eagles' demise. It might be Jalen, it might be Sirianni, it might be both. But I can't arbitrate if I don't separate. How am I going to figure out who is really at fault? Whenever there is a legal ramification involving 2 parties that were both at the scene, what do? They take individuals individually for questioning.
Okay.
If me and Marcellus, if we hit up a liquor store.
Chill.
It was Marcellus's idea if it's a liquor store. If we hit up a liquor store and we get caught, they gonna pull us in. And they gonna ask you separately what went down and me separately what went down. Because you can't arbitrate unless you separate.
And I hope you don't say nothing, snitch.
Hey, chill out.
You over there talking.
True story. Oh, God, true story. My sophomore year, a teacher walked out of the classroom during an English exam. Teacher walks out. Y'all know me. I went to private school, big dog. I was at a private school, but I probably wasn't intellectually capable of being at a private school, not until like my junior, senior year. So teacher walks out of the room during an exam. Me and my homeboy, my dog Steven, he's sitting next to me. Hey, man, what's
You're already snitching, Steven.
What's that? So my dog, we sitting there. We both we cheat on the exam. You know what it is, but we don't get caught. Next day, I'm walking to my science class, get a pat on the shoulder. Hey, you got to go to the head of upper school. Me and Steven got to go to the head of upper school because somebody in the classroom snitched and said we were cheating. True story. We go to the head of upper school. They don't bring us in together. Chris Gunnan, man, God bless his soul.
He dead?
No, he's still.
Well, damn, he just told on y'all. That's all.
So Chris Gunnan, he had upper school, Marcellus. This is a true story.
Okay.
But he doesn't call us both in together. He calls us in one at a time.
Yeah, OG.
So Steven go in first, you know what I'm saying? I see Steven walk out in tears. I'm like, damn, what you say? And I told him the truth. I told him I cheated. You told him you cheated. You ain't tell him I cheated. So I walk in, look, I don't know what happened.
With your hands like that, you look guilty.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. If our answers are the same, he might have cheated off me, but I didn't cheat off him. Steven got suspended. Your boy ain't getting caught. All that to say, Sal, you can't arbitrate, big dog. Let's just separate. I think the Eagles need to bench Jalen Hurts only for the sake of figuring out who's at fault and make sure this season, which will be filled with losses, is also filled with lessons.
Wow. Tremendous story right there. Tremendous take right there. Look at you. All them times I told you I used to steal growing up, you kept silent. Not knowing you were over there a cheater.
Hey,
just as bad as
I'm not a cheater. You told me this yesterday. If you do it one time, it doesn't define you.
That was the only time?
I cheated.
You didn't get caught and you stopped?
I got a story next block.
Okay.
The greatest cheating story of all time.
Okay. I'm with you there. All right. Now let me get to my take on this.
Please,
because I'm on the other side with this. I am not thinking about benching Jalen Hurts. Let me tell you why. Damn, I love a good cheating story. Let me tell you why. Because the commitment has to be full so I can know what you're fully capable of. And if I'm looking at Jalen Hurts...
You
like the bars?
No, I hate when you do this. And I always tell you this. Don't give me a good bar and gloss over it. Okay. You know this is a low-key church service. I need that bar again so I can get my journal out and I can write. Please,
all right.
sir.
The commitment has to be full. Yes. And then, you know, the pastor always look at the pianist. You better hit that word. And he got to look at his Bible when he put his glasses back down to see what Jalen Hurts is fully capable of. Wow. And look, what Jalen Hurts has shown has been some highs and some lows. Now, it's been lows of late, but certainly we have to look at the law of averages when it comes to putting an indictment on the career of Jalen Hurts. In math, it's not good enough to just say, here's the answer, teacher, and turn in your work, right? She always said, no, come here. Show me your work. Show me how you got to that answer. And I'm going to show you Jalen Hurts' work to make you change your answer. Jalen Hurts, since he's been a starter in the league, and let's not even go back to last year with those first 3 games, because we know those were NFL historical pace games. And much better than Carson Wentz, who was a $128 million man. Bam, back at you. So I don't even want to consider just those 3 games, because that just puts them out of the conversation. Hell no, I'm not benching them. But let's just also bring in the games of late. Since he's been a starter, almost 300 total yards per game for Jalen Hurts. Since the merger, only 2 other quarterbacks are in that conversation with 4 or more starts like Jalen Hurts. You got to put some respect on Jalen Hurts. You know who the other 2 quarterbacks are? Tell me, would you ever consider benching, even through a 4-12 season maybe, Deshaun Watson? He's number 1. Justin Herbert, he's number 2. Jalen Hurts is number 3. Oh, let's just give you a little reference, a little perspective. Cam Newton and Andrew Luck are behind Jalen Hurts. So right now, to this point in his career, he's already given you some sparks, some obvious resemblance to some great quarterbacks in our league. But you're contemplating benching them. I wonder why. This is why you shouldn't contemplate benching them. Because we are going to isolate variables, like you say, independent variables.
That's all.
We want to see if it's Sirianni. We want to see if it's you, Jalen Hurts. But last time I checked, Philadelphia already knows this answer. They already turned in their paper. Doug Peterson, oh, it's no. Carson Wentz, oh, no. Jalen Hurts, oh, no. Nick Sirianni. The point is, if you keep going on this carousel of blame game to others, maybe it's just the environment. Maybe it's just the systemic issues going on. And in football, systemic issues are you ain't got enough talent. It's just that simple, right? So if we look at this team, we got to reload. It's just as simple as that. Maybe that's an upstairs Howie Rosen conversation. But the point is, you can't look at Jalen Hurts and point the finger because you've been pointing the finger too damn long at too many people and you still got issues.
But eventually, Sel, really for me, it's just I need to figure something out. I have to figure something out. I have to get something out of this season. Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, he's currently 29th in completion percentage, 22nd in passer rating, 16th in passing touchdowns. Jalen Hurts, that's not great. So, Nick Sirianni, is it your fault? Are you to blame? But then, conversely, Jalen Hurts was like, hey, now. We're 58th, or we're last in penalties with 58 on the season. Jalen Hurts was like, wait a second now. My running back, Miles Sanders, he got the 42nd most carries prior to getting hurt, and he's gone over 1,000 scrimmage yards his previous 2 seasons. Wait a second now. It ain't my fault. Did I do that? And so, as I look at it, if I am an Eagles fan, which I am, I just refuse to let this season be a total and complete waste. And I look at it, so if you don't bench Jalen Hurts, and I don't even want to bench Jalen Hurts, but if you don't bench Jalen Hurts, you're not going to learn nothing.
Why are you doing it?
Because I've already said Nick Sirianni, guilty. Send him out the courtroom. But so other people are like, wait a second. Nick Sirianni's just the accomplice. He's not the primary culprit. Jalen Hurts is the primary culprit. So now we have to actually give the situation justice, and we got to also bring Jalen Hurts to the stand. We got to bring Jalen Hurts to the stand and start to identify, okay, wait a second. Maybe it is you, Jalen Hurts, because last year you were last in completion percentage, 52nd.
Come on, man.
League average, or 52%.
You want to bring up last year.
League average was 64. Last year, you did have a passer rating of 77. League average was in the upper 80s. So Jalen Hurts, maybe it is you. I don't know who it is, Sal. I'm just saying I can't figure out who it is if you don't allow me to pierce the two, separate the two, and identify them individually.
You can. You don't see the parallels in this? Being real.
Talk to me.
Did they make Carson Wentz look whack? And now Carson Wentz looks good? Was that the coach? No, it can be the coach because Nick Sirianni didn't coach Carson Wentz last year. Something with this roster, something with the walls, something with the environment. Because Carson Wentz went from whack to now he looking like he's back, right? Jalen Hurts, did you look good in your first 3 starts last year? Mixed results, but look, anytime you are in a conversation with Lamar Jackson as the only quarterbacks with at least 50 rushing yards in your first 3 career starts, 300 passing yards and 50 rushing yards in consecutive games.
Can I ask you a question?
Those are positives.
Let me ask you a question.
and interrupt my flow because I'm winning.
No, that's a good question for you.
Up?
Did Jalen Hurts look good in his first 3 starts or for his first 3 starts?
Both. You know why? Because Carson Wentz had 12 starts before that. And those 12 starts before that, look at the difference. They went up in points per game with Jalen Hurts. They went up in yards per game with Jalen Hurts drastically. They went up in rushing yards per game drastically. And they went up in yards per play drastically. So guess what? If I'm trying to draw the parallels and then isolate the variables, I'm saying, Sirianni, you didn't help Carson Wentz. You didn't hurt Carson Wentz. Philadelphia did something to Carson Wentz, right? Now I'm looking at Jalen Hurts. I'm like, ooh, it looks like Sirianni may be hurting you, Jalen Hurts, right? So now I got Philadelphia in one conversation, and I got Sirianni in one conversation. I don't have Carson Wentz, and I don't have Jalen Hurts. Those are not the blames. Look, consistently pointing the finger and playing the blame game is scapegoating. And that's why Philadelphia finds itself in this position without their Super Bowl head coach. They had a Super Bowl winning head coach who is now unemployed. You got a Carson Wentz who was a franchise quarterback who's now on another team balling out. And then you got Jalen Hurts eroding right before your face. And you're going to say it's somebody else's fault? It's the colors of that organization and the roster that they've constructed.
But we got to go here.
Go.
That same organization with those same people in charge won a Super Bowl just 3 years ago, about 1,000 days ago. But I don't know
how?
if you can say it's with Nick Foles. Is that where you're going?
It wasn't by design.
What do you mean? How so?
Okay. This is what coaches always say. Look, I love the fact that we won the game, but did we follow the game plan to win the game? Because if not, we can't replicate that success with confidence. They won a Super Bowl, and it was a blessing in disguise in the way that it came. Look, Carson Wentz was on the MVP pace, then he gets hurt.
Of course.
Do we know that Carson Wentz was going to show up in the playoffs? We don't know. We can assume positive. We can also assume negative, right?
Correct.
They came, and Nick Foles saved the day. Nick Foles in a bottle, Nick Foles in spurts is going to be exciting. You always talk about Nick Foles. You give him a short run, he's going to act a fool. He's going to be the relief pitcher that you want. But it came, and it was a jagged experience. It wasn't by design. So I'm not going to use that to give my organization confidence, because from start to finish, that's not what we built. So now you're going to use that as a standard and then use Jalen Hurts against that standard. You use Carson Wentz against that standard. That's why Carson's gone. Doug Peterson's gone. And now you're going to get Jalen Hurts gone instead of just looking in the mirror. Dog, we don't have enough around us, or we're not properly utilizing what's around him.
I think that's fair. The only reason I cannot yet allow Jalen Hurts to walk free is because, in theory and statistically, he has improved this year upon last year. Now, it's not much improvement when you're last, but statistically, Jalen Hurts' completion percentage went from 52% to 61%. Vast improvement. Passer rating went from 77 to 89. Vast improvement. So when I look at Jalen Hurts, he has actually gotten better. So if I'm Nick Sirianni, I'm like, hey now, this dude Jalen Hurts, who was oh so good last year, if Marcellus Wiley is telling me that, he's gotten better. But collectively, we gotten worse. So just because Jalen Hurts is better, I'm not sure it's translating. Can I at least try my hand at some of this magic? I heard something about some Minshew magic.
Oh, stop.
I heard something about some mustache magic. Because I know this much.
What you know?
Gardner Minshew from 2019 and 2020, he does find his name in the same conversation as Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. Only quarterback, 37-plus touchdowns and 12 interceptions or less. He had 37 and 11. Now, the Jaguars were still terrible while Minshew was there. But remember what I said. You got to separate so you can arbitrate. You got to separate Minshew from the Jags. Because those same Jaguars have only won one game with maybe the best quarterback we've ever seen coming out of college in Trevor Lawrence. So I can't necessarily condemn Gardner Minshew until I separate him from the Jaguars. Let's see what Minshew and Sirianni can do. I don't even necessarily want to. I just know it's fair. I can't properly assess Sirianni if Jalen Hurts might actually be the blame. And I can't properly assess Jalen Hurts if Sirianni might be to blame. But at least we've seen Jalen Hurts with somebody else.
Well, let's go to our second most used examples, which are relationships. I think track and field's number one still.
Oh, track and field?
But it's getting close. It's getting close. Relationships are starting to catch up hella tight. You got to learn how to figure things out without blaming the others. And that's the situation in this conversation. I don't want to blame Jalen Hurts to figure this out. Did Jalen Hurts get rid of Zach Ertz, who is in his...
No, sir.
Okay, whatever. In the situation where you're saying separate to arbitrate, let's bring up example A, Arizona Cardinals. Did we have to separate Cliff Kingsbury, who couldn't coach, who shouldn't even be given the opportunity to coach? He was a losing coach in college. Yep. And now we just let it mature. We let it blossom together. We let it take root. And look what's going on in Arizona. He went from can't coach, shouldn't have been allowed to coach, to I can't lose. Could that happen in Philadelphia? I highly doubt it. I don't see Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury out of this situation. But let it at least take root. Why do we have to pull it apart to see which one's to blame when in example and in resume, it seems like Philadelphia, the organization's to blame.
Here's the only reason I want to say that. I went to a concert last week, Sal, my dog, hip-hop concert, brought out a guest artist. Brought out several guest artists. Okay. But sometimes when you go to concerts and the guest artists come out there, you can tell it just looks different.
Oh, it definitely does.
You're like,
You're warming me up.
It just looks different.
Yeah, you ain't ready.
You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you're sharing the stage with somebody, it just looks different. The performance might be the same, but it feels different. Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson, the performance might be the same statistically those first 4 games, but I feel like it looks different. Jalen Hurts and all these other greats he finds himself statistically in the conversation as, to me, it just looks different. So that's where I'm at. It's like, I just want to see, I just know I'm going to take so many losses as an Eagles fan this year. I just pray in the midst of these losses, I might learn one lesson, and I'm really trying to learn that lesson about, is it my coach or is it my quarterback?
Like Jalen Hurts coming into the stage. Ooh, yeah. Let me hear you say, oh. You're like, no, coming up. Justin Fields says he's never been in a position where he's losing. Really? We'll give you our level of concern for the rookie quarterback. But first, sounds like Dak can go Sunday night. Mark Sanchez will help us answer if the Cowboys can afford to be cautious with their star quarterback. And that's next on Speak for Yourself.
Now, it looks like the Cowboys can breathe. A sigh of relief. Dak Prescott was seen without a walking boot at the team's facility Monday as he recovers from a calf strain. Now, the Cowboys are coming off a bye week and play Sunday night in Minnesota. Jerry Jones said earlier today that Dak's status was encouraging and added, quote, I feel very good about where Dak is right now. Well, I feel really good about where I am right now.
Where are you?
Sitting next to my dog, Mark Sanchez. Dak Prescott's old teammate, Fox NFL analyst. I could continue to read off the list of accolades and accomplishments, but we got a show to get to, guys.
Let's do it.
So anyway, Marcellus, why Cowboys afford to be cautious with Dak Prescott?
No list of accolades over here, huh? Just me. It's just Mark Sanchez, all that. Oh, damn. Okay. Reality hurts. Yes, they can afford to be cautious with Dak Prescott. Let's just start with the framework. Not just the picture, but the frame. He's in the NFC East. In the NFC East, you're going to get some mulligans, especially if you're the Dallas Cowboys that own that division when Dak Prescott's healthy. So Dak Prescott realizes, okay, I don't have to rush back, but at the same time, I don't want to mess up this flow that we have. It is so difficult to find that flow, the glow in the NFL. Those moments when you had it and you know it, you don't want to mess with it. Don't disturb this groove. And that's what the Dallas Cowboys... You don't know that song.
I don't.
Look at you. Boy, you don't know it.
My all-time favorites.
Can't deal with y'all. I had both of y'all ages up, and I'm still older. Man, damn. All right. In the Dallas Cowboys mindset, they're like, look, in this division, we get some mulligans. We know that. And we don't want to mess with this perfect swing. You're a golfer, Mark? You know about a little bit?
Not great.
God, dog, golf? You don't know nothing. Anyway, when you get a perfect practice swing, you feel the ball, but you didn't even feel the impact of the ball. It's just perfect. I know cats that don't even want to mess with their feet. They're like, no. Now put the ball on tee. I'm about to hit it. You're like, no, dog. You got to reset. Get ready. No. Everything got to be perfect. You don't mess with the groove. Dallas Cowboys don't want to mess with whatever they finally found. They've taken their lashes. They've taken their lumps for years and years, decades and decades. But now they're in that groove where they have that glow. So they can afford to just say, you know what? Dak Prescott, are you okay? Oh, we can't ask you because you're a player. And every player going to say, I'm ready to go, right?
Facts.
So we're just going to look at this. We're going to check out the MRI and say, you know what? If you can play, you will play because we don't want to mess with this groove.
They can be cautious, but not too cautious. The scariest position in the NFC all year is going to be that 4th seed. Point blank, period. Because that 4th seed, you are hosting either the Arizona Cardinals or you will end up hosting the Los Angeles Rams. But either way, if you stuck in the 4th seed, at least as it stands right now, you either playing the Cardinals or you're going to play the Rams. But you're going to play the 2nd best team coming out of that NFC West. So these dream stories for the Packers, oh, Aaron Rodgers and all that tension has been subsided. Oh, Tom Brady, he might win another Super Bowl ring. Oh, look at the Rams, Matthew Stafford. He's not a bust in the playoffs. That might all come to an end real quick if you stuck in the 4th seed. So I'm with you, Marcellus. I don't know where you stand yet as far as take your time with Dak Prescott. I know an Olympic track coach, he always says, I would rather you 100% healthy and 80% fit than 80% healthy and 100% fit.
Ooh, I like that.
You feel me? Like, I'd rather you 100% healthy. Yeah. Dak Prescott, I just want you 100% healthy because the Cowboys have not been 100% healthy in years. Now, no team is, but I'm talking big-time players. Sanchez was playing for the Cowboys 2016. Think that's when you were there?
Year, yeah.
2016. I remember Sean Lee, hurt.
Oh, always.
Tyron Smith, hurt. Cowboys draft Leighton Vander Esch. He balling. He get hurt. My guy, Travis Frederick, I believe that was the one who had to sit a whole season in 2018. He gets sick. Missed the whole season in 2018. Dez Bryant, 2016, he misses some games, hurt. So if you're the Cowboys, you just desperately long for a season of health.
Yeah.
You just desperately long to see what can we do if our big players, I'm not talking about our backup linebackers like Acho. What can we do if our big players just stay healthy? You can be cautious, just don't be too cautious.
Yeah, you can't take your foot off the gas completely. You can't even go cruise control, in my opinion, because Minnesota's coming in. Minnesota's legit.
Say it.
I mean, they've had some teams on the ropes this year. They're legit. Kirk Cousins playing well. Dak, I think everything there is, blown up a little bigger. Of course, it's Dallas. The boot was precautionary. I think he would have played last week if they had a game. Thank God they had the bye. He got more time to play, or more time to rest, excuse me. Coach McCarthy gave him a ton of time off. I think they were gone from like Tuesday to Sunday. So I think they're okay. But Dak's, he's like in that groove with Matt Stafford, those guys that you never question their toughness. And he signed up for it. Like, he knows, hey, man, my shoulder's not great. I'll figure it out. My calf might not be feeling great. I'll figure it out. And he hurt it on the last play of the game, so it kind of lingered. I think he's going to be just fine. And honestly, I think the only thing we'll see different from Kellen Moore is essentially less like read option in the field. They're still going to, if they have to run, he's so deadly on the goal line, running the ball. I still think we're going to see that. I still think we'll see a couple rollouts here and there. Nothing crazy.
Mark, I don't know if he's fine. Like, let's not answer this question and then make that gloss over some of the other issues. You ever get injured on the last play of the game? Probably not. But if you do, one thing that happens is you're going to have that injury. You're going to have the response to it in the moment. And it's going to be a real response because it's the last play of the game. You can't even fake it. If you watch Dak Prescott walk off that field, he was hurting.
That was almost 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay, I give you that. But then he goes to the press conference with the walking boot on.
Precautionary.
Precautionary. But you know what? A press conference, you don't have to move. They could have easily brought the press conference to him. He already sitting there, and he ain't got no boot on because he's not putting any pressure on it. You know why they went that route? They went the route of it, precautionary, because we know you're going to move because we know something going on. I'm just saying, I don't think he's 100%. But at the same time, whatever percent he is going to pass the threshold of you're not going to play. You're going to play, but you're going to be compromised.
Maybe a tick. I think maybe a tick.
And
he's not going to have that like little burst. He's not going to have what makes him an effective runner. So he's fine. He could dissect you from the pocket, man. He's surgical.
I don't disagree with that. I do think my fear is if you're the Cowboys, when Dak Prescott is there, y'all are great. Not just good.
The drop-off.
Night and day.
Come on.
Exactly. But the question is, we all know about calf strains. Bump this, we all played in the game. And if we didn't have calf strains, I know several guys who have. I know calf strains can, worst case scenario, turn into Achilles. I know calf strains can, Best case scenario, just subside.
Don't even put that out there.
I'm just saying, that's what we know
Kevin
about
Durant.
Whoa.
We ain't even got to go Kevin Durant. We ain't even got to go Kevin Durant. My dog, Jordan Hicks, who you know, who I know. Like, I just know in sports,
don't watch this.
that can happen. What I'm saying is, best case scenario, it'll just linger. Yeah. So if I'm the Cowboys, I don't even want Dak hurt at all. Now, I don't think I can rest him in the Vikings game, but to your point, I might not even do any movement. Let's turn around, hand it to Zeke, turn around, hand it to Pollard. Let's run with the quick game. Let's run with the 3-step, 5 steps, and let's just see if we can get out here with a dub, because you can't afford for Dak to get hurt off this calf strain and make it worse.
In terms of mechanics, like at the quarterback position, the calf strain, I know I played with a calf strain before at D-line. It just basically made me flat-footed. I was like, look, we got to try our best to stabilize the lower body, the lower leg extremities. But I was just flat-footed. I was like, I'm not extending, I'm not pushing off. As a quarterback, how does that play?
Yeah, so if it's your right calf, then pushing off, you would think, because he's a right-hander, pushing off, you'd lose a little juice on the ball. If it's your left calf, you're landing on it, so you won't finish as hard, which means the ball's going to sail. You'll know in the game. I mean, you'll have an idea of what. Same thing with the Bucs game early on. Remember, his shoulder was lingering? Remember all those throws to the left? I mean, that's where you're really torquing everything. And there just wasn't quite the juice. He missed them low and inside, which is a sign that, you know, high and away, you got too much juice and you're not finishing the throw. Low and inside, you're lacking power, you're lacking velocity on the ball. And that was the case early on.
The worst part about an injury to me wasn't the physical part that was compromised. Because if you get back on the field, physically, I'm all right. Mentally, every step you take, every move you make, you just, damn it.
You're onto something there.
Am I not telling the truth here? You are not the same dude, even if they think you're the same guy, because you're not committing to every single move you make. And that's the problem to me. Is Dak Prescott healthy? I don't think 100%. Is Dak Prescott good enough to play? Yeah, but at what risk? At what cost? That's going to be the conversation.
And sometimes you have to save players from themselves.
True.
Right? Because he is so tough. He is a dog. He's in there for the boys. Like, he's going to make it happen. But, I err on the side of saying, hey, you know what? Hopefully he's more like Wolverine than any of these other guys that you mentioned that got hurt, man.
So you let him out there. You let that go out there and just play through it. It'll be all good.
That's the NFL. You guys know?
It ain't the NFC East, though. That's the NFL. But then the NFC East, though, they gonna win.
If you the Cowboys, you can afford to play a little bit of chess if you know how to play the game. If you the Cowboys, it's like, I know we're going to win the East. I know. But, like, you also can't afford for Dak to get hurt. Period.
You're saying pick the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, because
can't get him hurt. We can afford to drop a game.
Imagine if you're the Cowboys and now Dak has to miss a game because you rushed him out versus the Vikings. And it's like now all of a sudden Dak is missing 2 or 3 games because Dak Prescott has a calf strain and you rushed him back. If you're the Cowboys, you're in a compromising position. All I'm saying is you don't want to lose the steam, but at the same time, at what cost? Because y'all have something great going this year.
You got to trust him. You got to trust the MRI. And the truth is probably somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle, right. 3 sides to every story. Coming up, Justin Fields is finding out the NFL's hard out there for a rookie. Almost went there. That was my last read. We'll tell you our level of concern for the Bears quarterback. Next on Speak for Yourself. Hard out here for a rookie. You listen to my tape, man? Let's get back to the NFL. Justin Fields had a rough Sunday, finishing with 5 turnovers in the Bears' blowout loss to the Bucs. Fields was also sacked 4 times, adding to his lead. He explained his state of mind, saying, quote, I've never been in a position where I'm losing. I don't know what to feel. Okay, rookie. Mark is back, but Acho, what is your level of concern for Justin Fields, who can't feel?
I'm very concerned for Justin Fields, and for this reason. You don't get a second chance at a first impression. And Justin Fields is making a first impression on the National Football League. Now, it is not Justin Fields' fault in totality that the Bears are struggling as much as they are. We know the offensive line is horrendous. His tight ends aren't doing the most helping him out, at least not in this past game, with a few drops, especially early on when he's trying to find his rhythm. His head coach, he's been questioned. GM Ryan Pace, all under question. I don't think a lot of people are helping Justin Fields out. Nonetheless, Justin Fields, what you say, Marcellus, everywhere you go, there you are?
There you are.
Everywhere Justin Fields goes, that's where he is. Ryan Pace ain't going to follow Justin Fields his whole career. Matt Nagy ain't going to follow Justin Fields his whole career. Offensive line ain't going to follow Justin Fields his whole career, but Justin Fields is going to follow Justin Fields his whole career. And so when I look at it, why am I so worried? I'm worried because this is the first Justin Fields we're meeting. Hey, Justin Fields, my name is the NFL.
Hi.
And this is the impression we're getting. True story. I was trying to prepare for the show, ask researcher Andy. I'm like, hey, Andy, where does Justin Fields rank? He sighs. He says, well, Justin Fields ranks last in just about every meaningful category. I was like, close quote. When I look at him, Sanchez, I'm like, bro, I am concerned for Fields because, one, you know better than I, but you taking a beating as a rookie, and I'm not talking physically. I'm talking mentally. These are not the days of Peyton Manning 1998 where you can throw 28 interceptions one year and we'll give you a bunch of grace to bounce back the next year. We saw what happened with Chosen Rosen. UCLA cat, number 10 overall pick, if I'm not mistaken, gets drafted, Arizona Cardinals. Somebody call me out if I'm tripping. All of a sudden, he on his 4th team in like 2 years and on somebody's practice squad. It's just a matter of, in the NFL, you got a short leash nowadays, man. And if you don't win very quickly, or if there's not an excuse to why you're losing, it's not good for you.
I'd say there's excuses to why he's losing.
But are we blaming them or are we blaming Fields?
Oh, who? Ooh. Bro, you can't put it all on him.
I don't.
I think he needs so much more help. He really hasn't lost like this in his life, just like I hadn't getting to the NFL. We win our first 3, we lose our next 3. I thought the walls were caving in. I thought it was over. Like, we missed the playoffs after my 2nd year. All I knew was Rose Bowl, playoffs, and championship games in both of those first couple of years. It wasn't until we went 8-8 that I was like, whoa.
They can do this in the NFL?
This is hard. I just thought it was normal. Like, you're just going to win games and we're good, and Rex is going to talk, you know what, in the press conference, and we'll back it up, and it's all good. It's not all good. This is more normal. I didn't realize what the NFL was till my third year in the league. And that's what it is. I mean, the fact that he's only getting a few weeks and we're judging him, you know, series to series, it's almost like turning into Philadelphia there, where we're just, I mean, crushing the guy. Listen, he's shown enough flashes. There's enough talent there in him. I'm talking him specifically to continue to build around. I mean, it's not like, man, we're really questioning his intelligence level. We're questioning this, that, and the other. He's learning how to protect himself. He's running into a couple sacks. He's going to figure that out. Any of these guys that can run, Kyler Murray, I mean, it took him a couple years. He's just in a different market. This is his 3rd year in the system, right? But nobody crushed Kyler Murray because he's in Arizona. It's just a different place. And without that media pressure, he had a chance to kind of blossom a little bit. It's the same way with Andrew Luck, same way with all these legitimate top picks. You got to give him time. You got to give him a little time, and you got to help him out as much as you can. And at the beginning, it's run game, it's special teams, it's defense. And then you start giving him a little more. You loosen the leash, you loosen the leash. All right, now handle protections. Now we're going to give you empty sets. Now we're going to give you this. Now we're going to throw it 50 times in a game. Let's see how you do. But right now, they don't have that luxury because their personnel department is just, I mean, they're tanking right now. Who's he going to throw to?
That's the point right there. You had tremendous success until you got to the 8-8 season, right?
Smacks you in the face.
Yeah, it does. But on the field, we know in football it's a meritocracy. We all get based and graded on what we do, right? It's merit-based. Let's talk about in the classroom. I don't know Mark Sanchez, the student. But you ever take one of those classes, you get graded on the curve? You know, you're like, yeah. Now, depending on what class that is, that can help you or that can hurt you. You get one of them AP classes, you're like, God, dog, who these nerds? They in here messing up the game.
Who did it?
They in here rigging the game, right? But if you get in one with all your teammates, you're like, these fools, man, I got these dudes. I'm going to start this. Here's why I bring this up. 2 things I don't like when people waste of mine. My money, but even worse, my time, right? Now, money is relative. Time's supposed to be absolute. We all got 24 hours in a day, right? Except in Chicago, time runs differently, especially at the quarterback position. Let's just be real. Mr. Trubisky went to the playoffs 2 of his last 3 years.
You on to something?
And where is Mitch right now? Mitch is somewhere mitching. In Buffalo, mitching. Talking about what the hell was I in Chicago?
You on to something?
That's the desert for quarterback play. That's the barren land. Like, dog, good luck trying to grow something out here. Like, if you really think of Chicago Bears quarterbacks, you think of like Jim McMahon, and then people tell you he wasn't really a good quarterback. They had a great defense and running game. You're like, all right, whatever. Then you go to like, Eric Kramer, maybe? Man, they slap you upside the head on the other cheek. And then you're like, Jay Cutler. And you're like, highs and lows. And then Mr. Trubisky pops out. But just think about that in terms of home for a quarterback to grow and blossom. And then recently, you look at Mr. Trubisky and what happened to him. Justin Fields is in the conversation, as coach used to call it, NG. Coach is like, first day of practice, I want to know, are you okay? And if not, you NG. That means you're not good. Now, here's the worst part about it. Are you ever going to be good? Never going to be good is where he's facing right now. Because right now, he's not good. NG next to his name. Will you ever be good is the conversation. And that's a damn shame in your rookie year to already be there. But he's there. He's last, as you said, passer rating. Last completion percentage. Last. I'm talking about anybody drafted, anybody playing. Last. You can't be last when you pick that high in the first round. So I hate to say it, he got an NG by his name. Not good. But will he ever be good is the conversation.
Let me add something to this.
Come on, man.
Because I think Justin Fields is talented.
Me
I think
too.
Mark Sanchez said two things. I think one was true, one was false. Two truths and a lie. What you said that was true was that he's talented. But what you said that I think was false was he's shown flashes.
He's shown flashes?
Not this last game. I ain't seen that one flash, big dog. I ain't seen that one.
No Minota. No cannon.
Somebody turn the flash on. Somebody turn the flash, because that joint was on auto, and I ain't seen that one flash.
So he got 5 turnovers and 4 sacks. You talking about flashes.
Now, I'm not going to say it was all his fault.
No.
I'm just going to say we didn't see the flashes last game, but Justin Fields is incredibly talented. I'm saying that to camera in case you watching. You talented, big dog.
Yes.
But Marcellus said, which isn't a lie, and you was in Chicago. I think you was there with my brother for a minute. You was in Chicago. Yeah, he was out there. You naming notable quarterbacks, and you ain't even named Mark Sanchez.
Pro Football Reference. I'm sorry. You said it.
Imposter.
Coaching cleats in Chicago, okay? It's not.
Mitch was 11-3, 2018, went to a Pro Bowl. Then he was 8-7, winning record. Then he was 6-3, went to the playoffs 2 out of 3 years, went to the Pro Bowl, 29-21 in his time in Chicago, and sent him up out of there.
Peace.
The Bills only paid Mitch $6 million, if I'm not mistaken. So you're telling me the Bears, y'all could have kept Mitch Trubisky for $6 million. The same Mitch Trubisky who's 29-23, and in his last 3 years was 25-13, and y'all let him go for $6 million for a check that Marcellus could have cut? When I look at it, Sanchez, I'm concerned for Justin Fields, because I don't think they're going to give him the runway.
Here's all I'll say.
Talk to me, please.
Before Josh Allen got to Buffalo, we were saying the same thing about Buffalo.
Facts.
Cold weather city, windy city, tough place to groom a quarterback. It's going to take the right group. Also, let's not forget, rewind this to my first episode on Speak for Yourself. Didn't we say, Matt Nagy, you're crazy for not playing Justin Fields?
Yeah.
Bro, we were crushing Matt Nagy. This is probably why. Like, yo, he's raw. He's young. He's going to be a dog. But he's young. Let him cook a little bit. Let him cook in the oven, not Russell. Different kinds of cook. I'm just saying, let him marinate. Let him learn from Andy. That was the plan. This is why they didn't want to have him. You know why? Because they see the roster, too. They're coaching these guys. And like, who's his dog to throw to?
You own something.
You don't got a Braylon Edwards like I had? Like, oh, God, we're getting pressure. I don't know how to protect myself.
Allen Robinson has shown flashes, though. Allen Robinson has shown flashes.
And he's supposed to with that name.
I'm just saying.
No,
I don't want to start comparing players.
Of course.
I do.
It's a tough side.
I love it. Damn it, you good or you're not. Here's the thing. Braylon Edwards, that's my dog, too.
He's a beast.
Only dude I ever seen in the club with no shoes on. I don't know. He was early. He was before his time. Braylon different, y'all. He was amazing. You already know. Jim Kelly comes to mind when I think of Buffalo Bills greats.
But since then?
But they got something. Like, at least I know the ground works. It's fertile ground somehow, some way. Chicago, anybody? Anybody? Like, ever? This is not an indictment on Justin Fields. He's just in the wrong class. And the way that they're going to look at him, they're not going to appreciate the work he's doing. They're not going to even groom him properly. They're not going to even build properly around him. And then Justin Fields, what does that do to your mental? Like, I didn't play a position where it was like, based on my mental. I played D-line, damn it. If I'm better than him, I got him. If he's better than me, he got me. All this like, oh, you got to know what you're doing and your steps, and you got to make sure you see the field. I got to see nothing. I got to make sure I get his hands down and get around him. Justin Fields is playing a different position where you got to use your hippocampus and your cerebellum. You got to be out there. Like, between the ears is damn near as important as you keep talking about talent. Tom Brady looking at you like, man, nobody give a damn about all that combine stuff. They care about if you can process. What are we doing to the processor right now of him? He gonna start seeing ghosts, dog. All these sacks.
So that's my fear, Sanchez. It's not even that Justin Fields is not talented. I'm with Sel. I think he's talented. I'm with you. I think he's talented. But can he endure this?
Man.
Like, because even you didn't go 8-8 your first year. And 8-8 ain't even bad.
No, that's
like 8-8. You got something to eat at least.
I thought it was like, in New York, it was like after two back-to-back playoff
and big wins. And not just playoff appearrances, who you beat. You get there.
So it was,
I don't know, though, that
it messes with you, but can he do it? Yeah, that's a long game question. Is it Chicago, can he do it? Or does he go somewhere that appreciates him, builds around him, like you said? So that's going to be the long game mental question. I think he's got it. I think he's got the mental makeup, but he's never had, I don't want to say he's never had adversity in his life. I don't know every detail of his life. But
football adversity, outside of having a transfer, outside of having a transfer, it was, he was money.
Yeah, so this is just a wake-up call, and that's okay. That's part of it.
It's more than a wake-up call. It's get your ass up call. Like, and that's worse. Somebody, you know, like when you see in the movies, the Army, they throw water on you. So like, get your ass up call.
Wake up.
And he can't do it. We play the ultimate team sport, man. I hate to see a quarterback get rotted, and he's going to rot away in this situation as it is.
Here's what we know, though. At least we know this much. They are going to keep Justin Fields before they keep Matt Nagy. Yeah. So it's not as if Justin Fields is going to be one and done. I mean, dude is a rook who ran a 4.4, has a huge arm, balled at Ohio State, only lost, one game not the COVID year, but whatever, the year before last. Like, Justin Fields is a dude. Yeah. So we know this much. He going to be around for long enough for us to figure it out. I'm just concerned that he's taking too many lashes that he don't deserve. His offensive line set him up for failure. His coach is as well.
But he's putting on tape the film that he's got to coach really hard. Or the next coach will potentially have to coach really hard. Or Nagy in the offseason is going to have to coach up really hard. He's going to learn a ton from this. And then next year, the year after, then it's time to make a decision. Is he learning from it? Is he processing fast enough? Is he improving at a rate where we should surround him with talent and start thinking about his next deal? I mean, it's a 3-year, 4-year plan.
Wait, can I get him here?
Get him.
Can I get him here?
Get him.
Can I get him here?
Get him.
It should be a 3-year.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
New knowledge.
Right before he just...
Dog, Tampa Bay scheduled him for the homecoming game. This was a feel-good game, dog. Real talk. Tampa Bay's defense has been... okay or poor.
Break down the
homecoming game.
Back on track game.
Dog, get back on track game. The defense got the feel-good back.
Patter.
They held him to 3.
Marcellus is the rudest person on television. And you got to figure out, bruh, he just said they scheduled him for the homecoming game. Y'all got to know at home.
Dog.
You scheduled the softest opponent, the cupcake for the homecoming. You know all the alumni finna be at the homecoming game.
Right. Ring of honor, everybody going in that week. Like, it's just 38-3. The defense has not been that good this year compared to last year. And then now they feeling good about themselves. And they did that with no AB. They did that with no Gronk, and it wasn't even a contest, y'all. I'm not comparing them to the Super Bowl champions. I'm just saying, when it's the NFL, you know how it goes. You play the state champions, whatever. Nobody cares about that on the field. We just like, dog, they that much better than us? And if that erodes at your confidence and you're the franchise quarterback, I don't know if sunnier days are ahead. Before we head to break, let's get to Bet Super 6 that wants you to stack your cash. Scan the QR code, download the app, and enter the free-to-play NFL Sunday Challenge contest. Make your picks and then invite your friends to play as well. The more people who enter, the bigger the jackpot gets. Let's eat. Coming up, Baker Mayfield is hurt right now, but he's still in position to get paid. We'll tell you if the Browns should pay him $35 million a year. Sanchez, I hope you stand for that. That's next on Speak for Yourself. A year?
We just hours away from the first pitch of the World Series between the Braves and the Stros. How about the Astros, baby? Cover starts at 7:30 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Now, y'all know me. I'm from Texas, so I'm rocking with them Astros.
Hey, you better chill out, man. Them Braves, they knocked off my Dodgers, beat up on L.A. to reach their first fall classic in 22 years. So this should be a good one, and I'm always rooting for the team that beat my team, so I can say my team is the second best team. Game 1 of the World Series tonight, 7:30 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. It's time for Reward Corner. Boy, that was a browned out. Brought to you by Capital One. Don't even run to first base. What's in your wallet? Boy, you better get that bat up. All right, let's go. Baker Mayfield's status for Sunday's game against the Steelers is in question with his shoulder injury. I can't mess with you now. His contract is also in question. The Browns picked up his 5th-year option, but so far, no long-term deal. The report says Baker's deal will not reach Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen's levels. Duh. But the Browns would, quote, pay him in the mid to high 30 millions per year to stick around. Damn. So, Acho, should the Browns pay Baker $35 million a year?
First off, you're so disrespectful.
So do that swing again.
My suit is tight. I couldn't get it up here, like, you know what I'm saying? The suit is tight. I don't want to rip the suit.
Nobody told you to try and do it, but when you did it, boy, picture doing this.
I'm just going to bunt next time. I'm going to get you first, though. I'm going to get you first. Should the Browns pay Baker $35 million a year? Yes, they should, but for no more than 2 years.
Ooh.
So I don't care, Browns, if you want to give Baker Mayfield some sort of 2-year, $70 million deal. I don't care if y'all want to franchise tag him. That'll end up being roughly $35 million, if you will. But Browns, pay Baker Mayfield not only because of what he's done for y'all, but because of what he's proven he has the potential to do for y'all. But you can't pay him too much. And you can't pay him for too long. The real reason, Sel, you can't pay him for too long is you got 2 running backs that are beasts. Both 26 years of age.
Good point.
I don't want Baker Mayfield to use up all of Kareem Hunt's and all of Nick Chubb's prime years.
Right.
Baker, use up a couple of them. You might be able to take us to the promised land. You took us where we ain't been in, 18 years before. You took us where we ain't been since 2002, 2007, 1994, when you're talking about winning a playoff game. So, Baker, you've taken us to places we've never been. But I don't want Baker to use up all of my true workhorse's great years. So if I'm the Browns, yes, Baker Mayfield deserves $35 million a year beyond the shadow of a doubt. However, let's not do 3, 4, 5 years. I'm not there just yet.
Interesting. You know damn well they shouldn't pay him $35 million a year, even though I think he's going to get it. But I'm going to tell you why he shouldn't get it. What's the promised land in the NFL? You just said it. What's the promised land?
Super Bowl, playoff Super Bowl.
So he took him to the promised ring land? Because what, they got one playoff win with Baker Mayfield, and you over here, promised land. I don't know where you get this confidence from. Look, the reason why he's going to get it more than likely is because the new wave is coming. It's just like right now, I know that you're looking for houses out there, right? Sure. Homes, but you're single, so let's say houses, right? You ain't got a home yet. So you're looking for these nice homes that are really houses because you ain't got no love in your life. So Acho is thinking about moving. And what do we always talk about? You kind of waiting because you're like, this market kind of hot.
Yes, sir.
And let me give you a story, quick story of 2 years ago when, I moved 4 or 5 years ago, and I just recently moved. And when I moved 5 years ago, I was sitting there comfortably in my new home, and I was loving life. And then I was just like, I saw this one home pop up, and I was like, damn. But it was more than the home I was in. And I was like, I don't want to spend that. And now I look back at that price, and I'm like, damn it, I should have spent it. Because that price, which was high at that time, became the new norm. What's going to happen right now is if you sneeze at $35 million and you look at Baker Mayfield like, hell no. That's going to become the new norm. Plus, I'm going to be real and respectful to Baker Mayfield. He's done more than Jimmy G, I would say, in terms of resume. Is he better than Jimmy G? That's a conversation. But in terms of, filling out a resume and doing something for your franchise, I give him the nod because he hasn't been as injury-prone as Jimmy G. But Jimmy G, when he got $28 million a year, he had 7 games on his resume. Baker Mayfield's done more than that, so he deserves more than 28. Plus inflation, plus the new norm, I say $35 million a year. But this is why he shouldn't get it, dog. You can't have a quarterback talking about I need $35 million a year, but Tua has more passing touchdowns than you. Tua ain't even going to be the starter in Miami right now, but he's going to get $35 million a year. Baker, chill. Teddy Bridgewater, 2-glove Teddy, has a higher passer rating than Baker Mayfield. And if you listen to the announcers when you're watching Teddy play, they always talking about Drew Lock. Talking about, we don't know right now what's going on with Teddy Bridgewater. Baker Mayfield's just too inconsistent for me to give him any amount of money like that. But I know how the NFL works, and he's going to get that, though.
But it seems like, Sel, your fear isn't a matter of giving Baker money. It's the duration in which you're tethered to Baker.
I hear that.
Because, I remember you were talking to me about Dak Prescott, and this was in the offseason before he got paid. And I was like, come on, Sel. He don't deserve $200 million. He don't deserve $45 million a year, X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Based on the information I had been given, I'm like, Sel, he don't deserve, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen to be type of money.
Yeah.
And you're like, Acho, at a minimum, he deserves money based upon what he's done for the Cowboys. Based upon showing up, stabilizing them after Tony Romo gets hurt, going 13-3, going 9-7, going 10-6, just based upon what he's done. It's almost like a little payment in good faith.
Okay.
Just like players take a hometown discount, sometimes team can give you a little hometown love. Just based on what Baker Mayfield's done for the Cleveland Browns, brought this franchise back from the grave And I was a part of the great. 4-12, 2012. Just in what Baker Mayfield's done for the franchise, I'm almost like, he definitely deserves 35, if not for the word you use, back pay. Like, hey, big dog, you owe me at least for what I did for y'all on the low. Now, I'm with you in that Baker scares me too much to commit for 4, 5, 6 years. I'm not in that type of commitment.
No.
But does Baker Mayfield deserve a 2-year 70 or just franchise tag?
There you go.
I'm cool there.
Yeah, play the long game, play the wait game. Let's wait and see if Baker Mayfield could ever mature. If he can get out of the situation he's in right now with Case Keenum. Case Keenum gonna show him, you ain't got to pay all that to get these handoffs and these short passes. Like, Case Keenum's going to do something with this opportunity. Man, let me just drive it home to you. 2 ways. One, there are 5 quarterbacks that are making $35 million or more. Patrick Mahomes, that bad contract. We got my man Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson. They ain't even playing getting that money. Damn, Deshaun, you winning. We got my man Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott. Okay? I'm gonna give you some comps. Let's talk about homes and houses once again, since you over there right now trying to find where you're going to live. And when I compare Baker Mayfield to all those guys since 2020, so I'm gonna include Baker Mayfield's high year, right? His good year. He's worse than all of those guys in completion percentage, not beating one of them. He's worse than all those guys, not beating one of them in yards per game. He's worse than all those guys and not beating one of them in passing touchdowns. He's worse than all those guys and not beating one of them in passer rating, to the point that when you look at him compared to Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott now being his 6th year, only 1 year does Baker Mayfield have a higher passer rating than Dak Prescott. The same Dak Prescott you kept arguing wasn't even worth $35 million a year. He proved you wrong. He's proved a lot of people wrong. I just don't see it out of Baker Mayfield. Like, he's played long enough where we're not supposed to tier him at the $35+ million a year level. But it sounds like many people will.
I only have one thought to that, and my final thought is, we talked about this last block with Mark Sanchez.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the school system, you're graded on a curve. What we know about Baker Mayfield is he's got to be graded on a curve. And maybe he doesn't have to be, but if I'm the Browns, I'm not so ignorant as to not look at Baker and say, wait, you, Baker Mayfield, did what Johnny Manziel, first-round pick, didn't do, what Brandon Weeden, first-round pick, didn't do, what Colt McCoy, Heisman finalist, couldn't do, what Brady Quinn, first-round pick, didn't do, what Robert Griffin, who came over here later on in his career, former first-round pick, Heisman winner, couldn't do, what so many other people, several Heisman winners included, couldn't do. So for that, Baker, I have to value you differently. I'm not worried about what Lamar got going on in Baltimore, what Allen got going on in Buffalo, what Kyler got going on in Arizona, what Burrow got going on in Cincinnati. But what you've done here, Baker, that merits $35 million for the time being.
Okay, but let me clarify, and I understand what you're saying. Look, he's going to get overpaid. Let's just be real about it. Look, one of the things about my career is I got overpaid as well. That's a good thing to be. That's a good boy. Forget all them all-pros. Be overpaid. Yes, I'm sorry, I did it. But let me tell you how I got overpaid, because I got caught right in the perfect wave of potential and production. I had the production, but I had even greater potential. When you look at Baker's production, you're like, okay. Then when you look at his potential, you're kind of in the same place, right? He doesn't have that upside that I had. So I'm going to give you some names, and you tell me were these guys overpaid, and tell me where I rank in them. Cam Jordan as a defensive end. Tell me who's the best defensive end to the worst defensive end. Cam Jordan. Don't look at me like that. Am I better than him?
Nah.
Say no.
You got 89.5.
Okay, Mario Williams. Was I better than him? Okay. Julius Peppers. Was I better than him? Hell no. Jared Allen. Nick Bosa. And then old raggedy-ass me right here. Here's the thing. If you look at their first 2 years as a starter compared to my first 2 years as a starter, you know who had the most sacks? You're looking at him. That's your dog. Here's the problem. That's all I did. And it looked like for Baker Mayfield, his years behind him is all he gonna do. Coming up, Patrick Mahomes and his Chiefs had a rough one Sunday. We're revealing our winners and losers for Week 7. Next, don't speak for yourself. So it's safe to say I was the worst of those DMs, huh? Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. It's time for our Week 7 winners and losers. But a quick reminder from Acho. We're not saying anyone or anything is an actual loser, but for 1 week only, this is you putting this in your disclaimer. They certainly look that way. All right, Acho, with all the nice guy talk. Give us our losers from week 7.
Man, my third biggest loser. Oh, no, not Geno. Geno Smith, man, sacked 5 times yesterday. Geno Smith, remember, he was sacked 5 times the week before as well. Geno had to step in for Russell Wilson. He needs to step in for Russell Wilson and inject some life into the Seahawks, but he has not. Remember, as the game is about to end with about 35, 40 seconds left, this was when Russell Wilson would have shined. Yeah. Geno, you need to make a drive to try to get a field goal at least. Sacked, incompletion, game over. My number 2 biggest loser. Niners fans, I feel for y'all, baby, because when it rains, it pours. A 4-game losing streak. Niners, y'all was feeling y'allself going into this season. I seen some of the group chat text messages. Man, we got Trey Lance, baby, 1-play trade, plus we got Jimmy G. Kyle Shanahan, well, y'all have been stopped. It does not look good for San Fran. Now, we think Kyle Shanahan was supposed to make a resurgence as long as Jimmy G was there. Jimmy G, he been on the field. They still ain't been getting no dubs. Not good. My number 1 loser, though, it's the Chiefs, man. No touchdowns, no problems. The lowest offensive output since 2012, Marcellus Wiley. Damn. All bad. Patrick Mahomes out there getting banged up, having to leave the game. People are starting to question, do the Chiefs have enough offensive firepower? Were they feeling themselves? Chiefs defense can't stop a nosebleed. All bad for the Chiefs. Right now, they're my biggest loser, but I trust you, Patrick Mahomes. You should be able to fix things.
My man, Emmanuel Acho. Look, I ain't going to trip on Geno Smith. He is Geno Smith. I'm not going to trip on the Chiefs. I think that they can respond and rebound. But when you look at the 49ers, should Kyle Shanahan be on the hot seat?
Yeah, he should. Kyle Shanahan, as much as he has done in the last 2 years, I'm starting to look, 2 years ago, I'm starting to look at it like, what have you really done in 4 years, big dog? Like Kyle Shanahan, your record does not look great. Your quarterback position, you still got Jimmy G in, but he's not playing great. Yes, your roster's decimated by injuries, but how long can you hide behind the excuse of the injury bug? He should be on the hot seat, man.
Yeah, man, his reputation preceded him as an offensive coordinator, offensive mind. It just hasn't translated in terms of the scoring offense, in terms of maturing the quarterback position. Like, is Jimmy G getting better even when healthy? Seems like regression. Definitely the hot seat. Now, let's get to my losers. And my loser number 3, is Patrick Mahomes. The house is not Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Man, what the hell going on with P? And when I played, if you got paid that much money and all of a sudden start going down the hill, they start talking bad about you. But Patrick Mahomes, his first name should be Protected Mahomes, because it seems like all the problems with the Chiefs are not on Patrick Mahomes. Well, the defense does start this in terms of the domino effect. With Patrick Mahomes, you also got to take some responsibility. Man, you can't do it all by yourself. Just go out there and play boring, fundamental football and get this thing on track. You got the talent to do it all, but it's all about the little things. My number 2 is my man Tua. How you say his last name?
Tagovailoa.
You said it. All right. It's half past Tua. Let me check my card. Half past Tua right now. Tua looking up like, dog, y'all trying to trade me? Y'all trying to get rid of me? Don't want me to be your franchise quarterback? Last time I checked, the last 2 weeks since these rumors started, look at Tua. 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 102 passer rate. He's responding. Maybe he's not the problem. I'm not so certain that Tua needs to be taken out of his role as the franchise quarterback. He's a top 5 pick. Don't give up on him so soon. But my number 1 loser, my man, Robert Saleh. Oh, God. Punched in the freaking mouth. Hey, Robert, you can say all that stuff you want. You know what you should have said? Nah, New York Jets, I decline. I do not want to be the coach. It's so tough in this world when you get an opportunity. You know about it, Acho. You get an opportunity, but is that opportunity good for you? Man, this has been bad for you, Robert Saleh. I know you can always fall back and be a defensive coordinator, but maybe you should have fell back before you even went up and became a head coach.
Let me ask you something, Sel.
What's up?
Tua's, he's had to deal with all the drama. Deshaun Watson this, Deshaun Watson that. Brian Flores said, nah, man, I'm not looking at no other quarterbacks. But every reporter and their mama says that the Miami Dolphins are. Yeah. Do you think that's really affecting Tua's play?
It is, and it's actually making him perform even better than he was previously before all the rumors, because you realize it's me against the world. You can't even trust your coach. And your coach is in a bind. Like, look, your coach got to listen to the owner, at the same time try to manage the team and manage you as a player. But at the same time, you don't even believe what Brian Flores is saying now. You know he's selling it more than telling it. All right, let's get to our week number 7 winners. Who you got, Otto?
My dog, Zach Ertz, my homie, my friend, my birthday twin. Shout out to my dude. Zach Ertz, he went to sleep at, I think, 2-4, and he woke up at 6-0, but now he's sitting pretty at 7-0 with them Arizona Cardinals. Longest touchdown reception of his illustrious career in his first game out there in Glendale, Arizona. Zach Ertz, you a beast, you a dog, you a monster. What else y'all want to know? Number 2 biggest winner. We forgot about them Titans. We don't remember the Titans. We forgot the Titans. Yeah, man. We don't forgot about the Titans. I'm here to remind y'all, they've beaten in the last 2 weeks. In the last 6 days, not even 2 weeks, not even 1 week, they beat the 2 teams that played in the AFC Championship game last year. Remember, they knocked off the Chiefs, and they made it look good. And then they beat the Buffalo Bills. The Titans really are a team that we were sleeping on early on, and rightfully so. They had a couple ugly losses, but 5-1 since week 1, tied for the AFC lead with the Baltimore Ravens when you talk about records since week 1. Titans, I'm putting respect on your name. Number 1 biggest winner. J.J. Watt and DeAndre Hopkins, because nothing tastes sweeter than revenge. How about playing them Houston Texans? J.J. Watt, DeAndre Hopkins, combined between them, 9 Pro Bowls, 8 All-Pros. They've never started 7-0, and they went out there and dominated that former team. So for the biggest winner this week, it's them 2, J.J. Watt, DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay, I'm going to leave the future Hall of Famers out this conversation. So I'm not going to talk about Watt, Hopkins, or you, Zach Ertz. I give you that love, too. He's kind of close. Let's talk about these Titans. We did forget about them. So now, are they the best team in the AFC?
No, I can't give them that much. Now, I think come playoff time, they may be best suited for AFC success because of Derrick Henry and how he runs the ball. I'd still probably lean Buffalo Bills. I'd still probably lean Baltimore Ravens. Come the playoffs. Right now, week 7, I don't know. You can call it. I won't even argue with you. But playoffs, who's my favorite? It's still the Bills or the Ravens right now.
You brought up Derrick Henry. I can still see him on that treadmill carrying players as he's warming up on that commercial. Pretty good commercial. Is he the MVP favorite for you right now?
He honestly needs to be. Here's why. You and I talked about this before. Derrick Henry, I think it was just last season, his numbers actually beat Adrian Peterson in Adrian Peterson's MVP season. Derrick Henry, if I'm not mistaken, had more touchdowns than Adrian Peterson had and had maybe 50 less yards, but we never talk about him. He's on another crazy historical type of pace. He's the best player on a very good team. He should be the favorite, if not in the conversation.
All right, well, let's get to my winners. The real winners. Number 3 winner is Carson Wentz. Yes, I finally done it. I should have some confetti. I said something nice about you, Carson Wentz. Good Lord. Hey, you know Carson Wentz is cold. Look at all that. You don't even know that song. Look at him coming around. I'm growing up, dog. I'm maturing. You're rubbing off on me. Empathy, that's the word. I can't talk long on them. No, the Colts won 3 of the last 4. And I can't believe this, so I have to read this. Carson Wentz, 68 completion percentage since week 4. 8 touchdowns, donut interceptions. Carson Wentz, wait a minute. 119 passer rating. Carson Wentz out there cold-blooded. My number 2 winner, Raiders. Hey, we football family familiar. Look at the Raiders out there. Oh, we can deal with racism. We can deal with all the other isms. I ain't going to say them all because I don't want to get fired. But the point is they came together as a football family. The thing I love the most about football is when we all got their Pop Warner level, high school level. You put your hands in the middle, no matter what they look like, no matter where they from, we were all one. Raiders are actually embodying that right now. Respect and salute. And my number 1 winner, how about the Bengals? Burrow's Bengals, the best? Beat up on my boy? Lamar Jackson and the Ravens took a L, a major L. They went out there with that Super Bowl tempo and mindset. I get it, because they wanted to show everybody they belong. Now that we respect you guys, let's see how you guys ball.
Let me ask you this. Are you surprised by the success the Raiders have had with John Gruden absent? 2-0 since.
I am surprised, and that tells me that this team was suppressing some feelings for their head coach. Maybe they wanted a different style of play. Maybe they wanted different practice habits. You know how it goes. You sit there and you got to respect authority, but at the same time, when that authority leaves, you start to really shine in the way that you think is optimal. So it seems like the Raiders were living an alternate world. All right, let's see it, Acho. That'll do it for our Week 7 winners. Let's see what he got. And losers, congrats to all you winners out there. How they doing on TV, girl? Coming up, I popped the button. I swear I did. Coming up, the Cowboys are red hot right now. We'll tell you if Dak's squad will keep streaking coming off their bye week. And that's next on Speak for Yourself. Why you start spinning when my gut got in the way? Tonight, The World Series begins with the Braves making their first appearance in over 20 years while the Astros look to reclaim the crown. Game 1 tonight, 7:30 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. And speaking of the Fall Classic, David Ortiz is giving away $25,000 for tonight's game 1 on the Fox Bet 666 app. Going to help you guys win Big Papi's money. So scan the QR code, download the app, and play along with us. One of the questions is which team will win and by how many runs? Acho, which team will win and how many runs?
Astros coming out the gate swinging, literally. I think they win by 3 runs, big dog.
Come on, man. Listen to your dog. It's going to be the Atlanta Braves, 4-2, bottom of the 8th. Let's go to top of the 8th. Lock into some action. I messed it up, but damn it, I know baseball. Super 6 players have won over $5 million, and you could be next to win Big Papi's money. Download the app and answer 6 questions about Game 1 before the first pitch tonight on Fox. Don't miss out. Wink. Free to play. Let's get back to the NFL, where the Cowboys are one of the hottest teams in the league with a 5-game win streak. Damn. Coming off a bye, and next up is a road game against the Vikings Sunday night on Football. Dak Prescott was seen without his walking boot Monday, and Jerry Jones sounds optimistic he'll be able to play. So, Acho, will the Cowboys stay hot coming off their bye week?
Then I'm fearful that they won't. Thus, I doubt they will for 3 primary reasons. Number 1, I question Mike McCarthy. Number 2, I question Dak Prescott's full health.
Okay.
And number 3, I'm worried about the Cowboys' focus. Y'all know me, I'm a pessimist, so I have to look at this with a little bit of caution.
My dog.
Why do I doubt the Cowboys will stay as hot? Well, remember, Mike McCarthy, he started 6-0 back in 2015. That's the last time he was this good. Coming off that bye week, 3 straight losses. They lost 4 out of 5 games coming out of that. Remember, they stumble into the playoffs. They do win that playoff game, if I'm not mistaken. However, it just did not look great. Mike McCarthy, again, earlier on in 2011, the year after they win that Super Bowl, they start off 15-1, look good, but get to the playoffs and get bounced, divisional round. So Mike McCarthy, how he handles success, I'm always worried about that. I've told you that. The year they win the Super Bowl, they were 10-6, wild card team, go on the road 4 times essentially and win 1. It's my first reason of doubt. My second reason, Dak Prescott in this calf strain. For those at home, a strain literally means a partial tear.
Yes.
It just sounds a lot more cozy and comfortable when you say, oh, it's just a little strain.
Yeah,
No. Those fibers are partially torn. So I'm not fully convinced Dak is totally healthy. Mark Sanchez was on our show about an hour ago, and he told us if it is a right calf strain, Dak Prescott trying to step into them throws, you'll see the effect of that.
Yeah.
And lastly, Sel, the Cowboys' mental state, I just question. What do I mean by that? They haven't tasted success like this in a mighty long time. You know, in 2016, yes, they started this good, but it felt different. Sanchez was on the team. I was in the facility covering the team as part of several different shows. This 5-1 feel different than that 5-1. Like, this 5-1 isn't a surprise. That 5-1, Dak Prescott took over for Tony Romo. We didn't know what to expect. We were kind of all shocked. We were too shocked to enjoy it. This 5-1, we all kind of like, okay, Cowboys is nice with it. I don't know how the players will handle it. We know DeMonte KZ, the first night he was back in Dallas on the bye week, getting a DUI, driving under the influence, whatever the case may be, DWI. But beyond that, he got caught. I don't know who else was out there lit and just ain't even get caught. I wonder how the Cowboys players will handle this success. So, because of my questions around them handling success, my questions around Dak Prescott and his health, and my question around Mike McCarthy dealing with early season success, I'm not sure they can stay as hot as they were.
I know that they're going to stay hot. I know that the Dallas Cowboys are going to continue to roll. Even though they're playing a Minnesota team, people forgot about the Vikings. Talking about forgot about the Titans. There's a few little storylines in the NFL that just seem like they're being underreported. The Titans, Minnesota, how they're playing and above average play and treading water and looking like they could be a contender. Kirk Cousins leading that charge. Kirk Cousins out here balling, y'all, if y'all not paying attention. Even Jameis Winston quietly. People are not adding it up, and that's without Michael Thomas out here balling. But the point is, Acho, you were talking and I stopped listening. Pretty early, too, because you reminded me who you are. You're a pessimist, and I know it. So since you're a pessimist, I know that everything that's in balance, you're going to think it's a negative. You're going to say it's half empty, and I'm going to say it's half full. Precedence doesn't matter if you didn't participate in that precedent. So I can't look at this Dallas Cowboys team and then map on Mike McCarthy in 2015 and say that's the same. You know why? Because these players are not a part of whatever happened in Green Bay 2015. It's kind of like in football and all sports, they always talk about culture. And you know what's so funny about culture? I think it really means something to, like, fans and to, like, people out there. Like, oh, my God, once you walk into the facility, it's just a winning atmosphere. Yeah, how'd that look in New England right now, damn it? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, when Michael Jordan was with the Bulls, how'd that look down in Chicago? No, not this year, but the years before. Point being, culture is just how many damn dogs you got, how many players you got, and how many of them are staying committed and disciplined to the task at hand. I look at the Dallas Cowboys, and I look at them right now, and I say, beyond what you and I are going to argue about, debate about, talk about, the fortunes are in their favor this year. Right now, the last year, 2 years, maybe 4 years for you. I've known you for a while. Fortune is in your favor. Kind of like you a gambler, right? And this is what I had to learn the hard way. When you winning, bet big, because it's going to flip. The fortunes are going to flip eventually. My problem was I would wait, and I was like, oh, I won. Okay, now I'm going to bet big. Too late. Now I gave them all my money. Now I got to go to the club and spend some more. So here's the thing. The Dallas Cowboys, for some reason, they're getting winning hands right now. They've taken the lumps for years and years. This collective group, Zeke, Dak Prescott, fortune's in their favor, and they're going to continue to ride this hot streak.
But to your point, if fortune is in the Cowboys' favor, then eventually don't you think it'll cool off? Remember, realistically, the Cowboys should have lost that game against the New England Patriots. You watched it, I watched it, we all watched it intently. But the fortune, to your point, was in their favor. Mac Jones, errant pass, Trayvon Diggs, another phenomenal play, pick all the way back to the house. Okay. Next thing you know, though, Cowboys get beat, give up one. Now the Patriots go out there, they go score. It's still looking like the Cowboys might catch an L, find a way to win. Fortune in the Cowboys' favor. Trayvon Diggs. Now, he is an incredibly talented player. But we've seen a lot of incredibly talented players never have this kind of success.
It's a run.
And I even think, hard-pressed to say, maybe far-fetched, but I don't know if Trayvon Diggs will ever have this kind of early season success again. I only say this because we've seen guys like Deion Sanders, Darrell Revis, Richard Sherman, Patrick. We've seen talented corners, but we ain't never seen nobody do this.
This is real.
So to your point, if the Cowboys are not only talented, but talented and a little bit hot, lucky right now, that might eventually wane. And some of those dubs we're seeing, you were there when the Cowboys beat the Chargers by the leg of a 51 or 56-yard field goal. You'll remember better than I.
56.
But a 56-yarder, eventually that 56-yarder might be wide left, might be wide right. Eventually, that errant pass that rookie Mac Jones throws might not get picked and taken back to the crib. So if the fortune has been in their favor, don't you think eventually that fortune will run out?
Well, we're looking at a different sample sizes. Yes, it will run out, but you're talking game to game. I'm talking year to year.
Okay.
Like, I'm going 2016 when y'all were 13-3 and y'all supposed to... Then after that, where we go? 9-7, 10-6, 8-8. We got coaching changes. We got injuries to our franchise quarterback. Lump. We just taking all these L's. What is going on? We got Zeke, we got Dak, we got Amari Cooper. We got a defense. We don't have a defense. We do have a defense. I'm looking at it like that. You ever look at Pro Football Reference and approximate value? It's a value that they try to put on a player's season to just grade him and say, basically, he had a good, great, excellent season. Look at the approximate value players for the Cowboys since 2016 with Dak Prescott. It's been a Sean Lee, it's been a DeMarcus Lawrence, it's been Ezekiel Elliott, it's been a Zach Martin, it's been a Trayvon Smith. It's like, damn. All those players, different players. Like, if you look at most teams, it's kind of like the same dude or two dudes. The point being, it's been the carousel of great things for the Cowboys and missed opportunities and bad fortune for the Cowboys. I just think right now they are sitting there this entire year, 2021, 2022 Super Bowl Dre and Snoop halftime show. I'm looking at the Cowboys like, yo, we getting winning hands right now, and it's time for us to bank on them.
Yeah, here's the thing, though, Sel. Now we're going to go somewhere. You talk winning hands. The Cowboys are getting winning hands, but I've sat at tables with some unintelligent players. Unintelligent players, blackjack, poker, you call it what it is. And they've done some dumb things.
Oh, you talking about me.
And it's worked out for them.
Yeah, I split tens.
I've sat there with some cats that might split tens, split nines, but what are you doing? You already got a winning hand. And it's worked out for them. Eventually, though, you keep doing that ignorant stuff, it's going to stop working out for you. And I'm looking at Mike McCarthy.
I know. Why'd I bring up this?
I'm looking at him, Sal, I'm looking at him like, McCarthy, you went for it on 4th and 1 versus the Patriots in the first quarter, but then it's 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter, and you don't go for it, but you just went for it on 4th and 1 early in the game. What happened to that confidence? 2 dumb decisions in the game, and now all of a sudden, it worked out for you, but it might not again. Against the Chargers. You were there against that Chargers team.
Yeah.
Wait a second. So you decide not to kick a field goal earlier on in the game, but then you decide to kick a 56-yard field goal later in the game. It worked out for you. Yeah, the dealer going to bail you out at times. But when you playing with that player that makes idiotic decisions, eventually it's going to catch up to him. You're going to be like, see, you actually weren't good. You was getting bailed out. That's kind of where I lie with Mike McCarthy. Cowboys are good. But where I lie with Mike McCarthy is, bruh, he has a winning hand. And sometimes he'll flip a winning hand into a losing hand. Cowboys roster is a winning hand. But Mike McCarthy, I do got 20, but let me try splitting these 10s and see what. Come on, man.
But he's a CEO head coach, so he's not like calling all the plays, offense and defense. That's Quinn, that's Kellen Moore. He's just making sure everything stays glued together. At times, you're right. It looks a little raggedy, it looks a little jagged, but right now, winning hands being dealt, chips coming. Gertrude, thank you. I'll take a double next time. You ever been there? You don't drink. Coming up, did a Browns player throw Baker Mayfield under the bus by supporting Case Keenum? We'll tell you if it's something or nothing. Next, don't speak for yourself. And every time you win, you kick it way too much.
Way too much. Let's head back to Cleveland and talk about the Browns, who are coming off a win against the Broncos, and they did it without an injured Baker Mayfield. Now, Case Keenum threw for nearly 200 yards with a touchdown pass and the win. Offensive lineman Jedrick Wills took to notice. Take a listen to what he had to say.
We didn't feel any drop-off. Case is a veteran guy who's played in multiple. He's probably played in more games than I have my whole career, you know what I'm saying? So there was no drop-off. Everything felt very smooth.
Now, Will's comments appeared to be a shot at Baker, but he clarified them with the tweet. Bro, y'all are weird. Case played a good game, not leaping on Baker at all. Relax. Sell, man. I like this, man.
Just keep it at 99 or keep it at 100.
I like this, man.
Jedrick.
Is this something or nothing, big dog?
This is everything. And it's not nothing. This is definitely something. Oh, Jedrick. Isn't he in a commercial with Baker Mayfield, too? That's him, right? Yeah. Ooh. Baker giving you that easy money. All you got to do is go up there and frown in the sweatsuit. You can't even take care of him when he off for 1 week. You know why? Because you can't lie to yourself. And it just came out when they asked you a real question. Honesty prevails. Oh, this is something right here. Look, Acho, let's be real. When we played ball, 2 things that happen I don't think a lot of fans understand. One, when you're a backup, you're rooting for your starter to play bad or miss a game or something to just give you an opportunity. I don't wish ill on you. I just wish well for me, right? And then 2 things. The second thing is you played for multiple teams as I did. When I left Buffalo and went to San Diego, I checked the standings every year in San Diego to make sure that Buffalo was sorrier without me. And they were. Okay. In Buffalo, when I left, we were 8-8. Next year, I think they were like 3-13. I was like, they missed your boy, even though I had no impact like that. It felt good. However, you fast forward, when I left San Diego to go to Dallas, we went from 4-12 in San Diego to they went 12-4. And I'm watching them boys out there kill it. If I leave this show, Acho, for any amount of time, like you do on every single Friday, damn it, one, the ratings gonna do what they do. That's kind of a little more consistent. It takes time. But the flow of the show, if you left the show, like, damn, that felt good without Wiley. Damn, that felt all right. You know what? Nothing changed without Wiley. Don't call me that weekend. It feels bad. My man Jedrick, he told the truth, man. That's something, bro.
Now, it is something.
Come on.
But I got to start. Just because you compliment somebody doesn't necessarily mean you're throwing shade at somebody else.
True. Except in this example, but true.
Like, it is like, you can compliment your new relationship. It doesn't mean you're throwing shade at your past relationship.
Always, yeah.
You can compliment a close friend. Doesn't mean you're throwing shade at another friend. Just because you compliment someone doesn't mean you're throwing shade at someone else. You're just appreciating your current situation.
True.
Now, it's a huge thing. Huge.
Let's say it.
This is why it's a huge thing. If you felt no drop-off between Baker Mayfield and Case Keenum, which is fine, then why is there such a drop-off between their salaries of $19 million to $6 million next year?
Damn.
If you felt no drop-off between Baker Mayfield and Case Keenum, then why is there such a drop-off between Baker Mayfield's first-round #1 overall pick status and Case Keenum kind of being a journeyman, if you will? If you felt no drop-off between Baker Mayfield and Case Keenum, why is there such a drop-off between the number of commercials Baker Mayfield has and what Case Keenum has, if you will? Now, I know you didn't feel a drop-off because we didn't really feel one either. And we got better vision than you because you was on the field and we sitting back on TV and we can pause and play, and rewind, and fast forward. And we got 8K. You might have 20/20 vision at best.
8K.
So we know there was no drop-off. Thank you for telling us what we already knew. Thank you for not lying to us. But also, it isn't necessarily shade, depending upon how you view Case Keenum.
Let's go.
That's my thing is like, man, you know, I love this person. It's not necessarily shade. It just depends on how you feel about the last person. Like, it's not an indictment. Case Keenum had a 13-3 season. He quarterbacked a Minnesota Vikings team that went 13-3. Case Keenum himself was 12-4 that year if you include the playoffs. So with that being said, I don't view it as shade, but I do view it as something. Because Baker Mayfield, you shouldn't be mentioned in the same conversation as Case Keenum. Not because of who Case Keenum is, but Baker, who you're supposed to be.
It is shade, though.
How,
It's
Sam?
unintentional shade. And you look, we are sophisticated enough to know when we're saying something in a comparative sense, how to state that. If we don't, we know it's going to be perceived as shade. If someone asks me about you versus another co-host, I know how I have to watch my words, or one of you guys is going to feel slighted because I am now in a comparison situation. It's comparative, right? Dude, I know he's young, Jedrick, but damn, dog, you know, because we've all played before with quarterbacks or any position where it's close. And you know how to pump up one without deflating the other. And he didn't do that. He said there's no drop-off. Now, there's another way of saying it. It's like Case came in, short week, not much time, and kept things rolling. That's the same way of saying no drop-off. But you know what he did? No drop-off mean, well, did he keep it up there? Is it on Case Keenum? Well, let's look at Baker Mayfield. And so we know the outcome when there was no drop-off. Actually, it was an improvement. They won, and they desperately needed to win that game. But he ain't crazy. He knows what he said. And he talked about the flow of the show. Like I said, if I chose like, yo, the show felt good without Wiley. He's saying the offense felt good without Baker. The team felt good without Baker. They were a season best 60% on third down, money down, right? Not reached 50% in any of the previous 6 games. 17 points scored. I know that don't sound like a lot, except 2 of the 3 games before. Baker Mayfield didn't even get over 14, bruh. Like, he told us a lot without saying much, and that's the problem.
But, Sal, if you say there wasn't a drop-off, aren't you just saying that Case was good?
Yes.
Not that Baker was bad?
Yes, but the problem is it's the perspective of how good is Baker. And if you say a journeyman was just as good, Usain Bolt ain't on a relay. And we run the same time, get the same medal. Usain, it's just an indictment on him. Like, really? I thought that y'all should have some kind of impact, negative impact, like they did in San Diego. Coming up, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert are both balling this season. Damn, but we got to pick one. See, this is what I'm talking about, Acho. We about to throw shade. We'll tell you which quarterback we'd rather have next on Speak for Yourself. Dare you to make the argument without shade. Dare you. 2 of the top stars from the 2020 draft are off to great seasons. Joe Burrow has thrown 17 touchdown passes, and his 5-2 Bengals are in first place in the AFC North. Yeah! Justin Herbert, you know Justin Herbert, averaging nearly 300 passing yards a game for the 4-2 Chargers. So, Acho, which quarterback would you rather have? Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert?
Man, would I rather have 2 scoops or 3 scoops, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, would I rather have salted caramel or would I rather have plain vanilla? You know what I mean? Would I rather have...
Wait a minute.
Bluebell or Haagen-Dazs?
Wait a minute.
Would I rather
2 scoops is not as good as 3 scoops.
Either way, I'm going to be full.
Oh, that's how you eat. Yeah, you ain't 260. All right, keep talking. Keep talking. It sounds like you made a decision on this and it was pretty easy for you.
Ultimately, I'm going down with Joe Burrow.
Come on.
The only reason I'm going with Joe Burrow still is I've seen Joe Burrow win in college. So that's one thing. But then if you're going to the NFL level, what Joe Burrow did and how he turned around this franchise, to me, that's a little weightier than how Justin Herbert turned around his. Chargers, if I'm not mistaken, y'all were 12-4 just 2 years ago. Like the Chargers had 2018. Chargers had some dubs now. Chargers was nice now. Meanwhile, Joe Burrow and the Bengals were 2-14.
Oh, that's all.
Prior to his arrival, 6-10, even the year before that. Whereas the Chargers, at least they had signs of life. They just couldn't win the close games. Justin Herbert, phenomenal. He's proven that as an NFL player. Joe Burrow, phenomenal, proven that. So why did I start with college? Because Joe Burrow has proven he can galvanize a team that hadn't tasted ultimate success in a long time. Justin Herbert hasn't yet shown me that.
Oh, he hasn't.
They both dogs. They both beasts. They both.
I don't want to hear that both. I hate that both. I love both of you guys, but I'm break up with one.
You have to, man. If you're going to make me decide, I got to go with Joe Burrow.
Okay. I'm going to just end this one right here. It's Justin Herbert. Why? This is the first thing, and you got to admit this. Whenever we're talking about a #1 overall pick, as you say he was, right, versus 6th overall, which is still high as hell, but it ain't #1 overall, that means nobody even considers you #1 overall. Like 6 is like, all right, dog, you were next tier, right? Why are we comparing the two? Like, you don't see how this is already answered for you. It's Justin Herbert. If he's in the conversation for a #1 overall pick who balled out, won a national championship, #1 overall pick, hit the ground running in the NFL, oh, my God. And then there's this tier 2, 6th overall pick that's in the same conversation. Oh, it's already that guy. You know why it's that guy? Justin Herbert? Because he's a generational talent. Joe Burrow, as much as I love him, I love his confidence, as you brought up yesterday. You said it right. And how decisive he is. Damn, that's a man. I don't know how old he is, but that's a man playing that position. Problem is, that ceiling is a little lower than Justin Herbert. 6. First of all, Justin Herbert plays the position just as well as Joe Burrow, but he's 6'6", 240, and can run and ain't been hurt yet like that. So if you want to say, who do I want? I want the guy that's going to be available. I want the guy with the higher ceiling, and I want the guy playing as well as, the #1 overall pick who has been balling.
But Sel, eventually, and you know me, I've been looking at these houses. So I walked into one house yesterday. You know me, Hollywood Hills out there.
Look at you rubbing your hands. Deacon Fry up here with that.
And one of the ceilings was like 15 feet. Ooh. Super high ceiling. Another ceiling was like 17 feet. Super high ceiling. Essentially, they both high enough.
They high enough.
At the point in which Joe Burrow has multiple 400-yard passing games, how much higher of a ceiling do you want him to have? Bengals are sitting atop the AFC North, toughest division in football. But Justin Herbert's ceiling is higher. Bruh, how high you want the ceiling? Burrow has 400-yard games.
I want the ceiling as high as Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Because then you could just make magic out of this. Do they have pools, swim pools? Okay, you say 2 feet ain't that different, right? Have a 5-foot swimming pool in depth and have a 7-foot swimming pool in depth. You're going to know the difference. 5 feet, we chilling, lounging, stand up, girl. 7 feet, hey, Acho, how's it going? Pass me a drink. You're going to learn. Coming up, Mike Tomlin was asked about USC's head coaching job today and did not take it very well. Let's just say that. We'll tell you if he's keeping it 100 or 99. Next, don't speak for yourself. You got to have a shallow pool, dog.
On this show, we only know how to keep it 100. But others each day, especially on Instagram, they only keep it 99. So we gonna get to the bottom of who's really telling the truth.
What they got?
Case in point, Mike Tomlin's name was dropped by USC alum Carson Palmer as a potential candidate for their head coaching job. Now, Tomlin was asked about it today. Y'all take a listen.
Hey, guys, I don't have time for that speculation. I mean, that's a joke to me. I got one of the best jobs in all of professional sport. Why would I have any interest in coaching college football? That'll be the last time that I address it. And not only today, but moving forward. Never say never, but never. Okay? Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check.
So, Sal, is Mike Tomlin keeping it 100 or keeping it 99, big dog?
199. I don't know what the hell that was. I don't believe him.
You don't believe him?
I don't believe him, no.
Swear.
Because he's not accepting the compliment. I would believe you if you say, I think it's flattering.
That's not a compliment. No, that's a diss.
That's not a diss. Go.
Asking Mike Tomlin if he was already won a Super Bowl in the NFL, if he would consider going to college to coach a team that hasn't won a Pac-12 championship or only won one in 10 years is disrespect.
But they make more money in college and have more stability.
Would you go do local news?
Hell no. If I started there, that's it for us. 5 Minute Live is next. I ain't do no damn weather.